Two babies born in the 80s, East Coast, yeah. One fire, one air, so you know the vibes is there. Met in 7th grade computer class. Since then, we continue to laugh. Crazy stories from teens till now. Some include caramel sundae and cacao. Sit back, relax, we will speak our truth. Just remember, it all started in our youth. She be the ram and I be the twins. Don't ever think we can't compete to win. Cause she a natural born leader and I be two-sided. So you know we gonna hop on this podcast and ride it. Come on.
Welcome back to the Fire and Air podcast. I'm Ram.
And I'm Twin. And each week we reminisce on life from the 90s and 2000s. And this week we have another school letter. This one is from Ram. Ram to Twin. Twin, what up? We should go to the mall when I get off punishment. That will be next week on Tuesday. I like Greg, Jerry, and I love Phil because he's my baby. When I call him, he's never home. Well, I gotta go. Sorry, so short. Peace out. Ram.
Damn, son, I really wrote you 3-sentence letter
You
and then
did.
had the nerve to say sorry so short at the end. And clearly short letters were a trend in our group because did you notice that Caramel Sunday wrote, see, it's not no 7-sentence letter on the front of her last letter? You
Yes,
gotta look at it.
I did notice that. I probably was getting on her because the letter she probably wrote me was extra short.
Right. Yo, I mentioned that I was on punishment in every single letter that we've read from me.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like it's a true reflection of my life in middle school. It's
What,
just it's just insane.
but what was you doing? I felt like it was just you taking clothes out of your sister's closet. Like, I don't feel like you were doing anything else.
Me neither. And you know what's funny and something I realized? Like, I was on punishment in high school. Like, I don't remember being on punishment in high school like that. Do you?
No,
So
no.
why was it only a middle school era thing?
I don't know. Maybe you had learned your lesson by then.
Right, right. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Well, since I wrote a ridiculously short letter,
Mm-hmm.
Quinn's gonna read another letter from Caramel Sunday.
Yes. Caramel Sunday to Twin. Dear Twin, what up? Nothing much here. You folded your letter all extra small. But anyway, I'm not going to call Britt because I don't want to make it look like I'm all up on his tip. And also because he told me to wait and see what's up with him and Erica. Please ask your mom again if you can spend the night. Please go to the dance. It's going to be mad fun. Ram wrote me, but all she talked about was Tymisha and Greg. I think she is jealous of Tymisha because she goes with Greg. But don't tell her I said that. Brown Sugar is going to be in 8th period because her appointment got canceled. Well, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Caramel Sunday. P.S. Your man and mine's Redman, Romeo, Batman, and Devante.
You know what's so funny about this letter?
What?
It, it really tells a story. In my letter that you just read, I named three boys that I like, and one
Mm.
of them was Greg.
Mm.
In Caramel Sunday's letter, she said she thought I was jealous of Misha because all I talked about was Greg and Misha dating in the letter.
Wow.
That shit is not a coincidence. She was probably right.
Yeah, she may have been right.
Like, let me find out I wasn't as nice as I thought I was. But I don't remember being a jealous person, but I feel like these letters are telling.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But what's even funnier is how Caramel Sunday low key was talking shit about me.
Yeah, like it's weird because we were all so very close. I feel like what she said in this letter, she could have easily told you to your face.
Exactly. Like we was close enough to do that, and I feel like we were all very direct with each other.
Yes.
The way we spoke to each other, but she obviously didn't have the balls to say that shit to my face.
Oh shit.
I mean, but did she?
I
But don't
got
tell her I said that.
right.
Don't tell her I said that. Like what?
Apparently she didn't have the balls.
And I don't even think that's the first time she was shady to me in these letters. I feel like one of the other letters we read earlier, this bitch was talking shit then too.
Yeah, she definitely did say something like, "Don't tell Ram."
Mm-mm-mm. But despite her shadiness, and as we said in the last episode, Caramel Sunday was more advanced than us and more mature in some ways. And something that she wrote that I admire is when she said she's not going to call Britt because she doesn't want to make it look like she's all up on his tip. And also because he told her he had the fucking nerve to tell her to wait while he sees what's up with him and Erica. Like,
Right.
the
What?
fuck?
What? Excuse me?
So I like that she said she wasn't gonna call him for those reasons. And I was like, damn, number one, she knew not to sweat him.
Mm.
And then number two, she knew not to play second fiddle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck you mean wait?
Right.
Nobody waiting. Not nobody's second choice.
Right.
But I like that she was up on game at that age. And I don't think that I was. Like, I wasn't really thinking like that.
Yeah, me neither.
So that got us to thinking. And so I asked Twin, what are five things that you now know as an adult about dating and relationships that you wish you knew when you were, let's say, between the ages of 15 and 25?
Hmm.
So we both came up with a list of five things we wish we knew at that age.
Yes.
So let's start with this first one. My first one is don't be so available.
Mm.
Don't be so available. Maintain your own interests because you don't want to lose yourself.
Right.
And even if you are available, you don't always have to be available, right?
True.
If
True.
somebody calls you, especially if this is like new,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to be available every time they call you to go out. Sometimes you're not available. You need to have your own interests, your own hobbies to show that you have something else going on about yourself.
Right.
Part of that is letting them miss you a little, right? You
Mm.
want them to desire you and miss your presence. And I've seen and been in relationships in which you're constantly around each other and
Mm-hmm.
one person starts taking the other for granted. So
Right.
you really got to let people like miss you just a little bit.
True. True. No, those are facts. Those
Yeah.
are facts.
And then the last thing is like maintain some friendships outside of your relationship because you don't
Yes.
want to like only have that relationship. You really need something outside of that relationship again so you don't lose yourself.
Right. I totally agree. Um,
Yeah.
to piggyback off of kind of what you were saying, I had something similar.
Mm.
What I wrote down was chasing slash putting feelings out right away.
Yes, that's awesome. That's a good one.
And so I said I just know right off the bat whether I like someone or not, and if I'm feeling them, then I want to spend time around them. And it's not a possessive thing. I just want to be around that person. And I said, now that I'm older, I think it's very important that, if you're going to be in a relationship, that there be a balance of seeing the person on a regular basis, but also still doing your own thing, having
Mm.
your own life.
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
Yes.
All right. What's next on your list?
Okay, so I said if he doesn't call you, return calls. If he's in your area and not checking for you, that's a red flag. So, I'll just say, so I was in a relationship and I'll just call this person Badman, right? So Badman got kicked out because he literally was gone for like 3 days straight and he didn't answer any of my calls during that time he was gone. So when he got back, he just got kicked the fuck out. Yeah.
And that was the right fucking move. Like, what?
Right. Like we lived together and you just disappeared and not answering calls? No.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
And I think even like if the relationship is new,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know that you have to speak to somebody every day, but there has to be some effort on
Right.
the other person's part. Like if you're always the one reaching out, mm,
Right.
mm, no, he's not that interested.
Yeah.
He's not that into you, or she's not that into you.
Mm-hmm.
Know what I'm saying? Because I feel like as women, we do have to show reciprocation, but
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's up to the man to initiate and to like make it clear about what his intentions are.
True. I agree.
All right, so my next one is take care and maintain your look.
Mm.
And this is especially for women. I
Mm-hmm.
think so many times we as women, myself included, get too comfortable and just let ourselves go a little bit, right?
Mm.
Or just not do what we used to do when we were single.
Right.
And so I feel like it is very important. I don't even care if you guys live together, keep your hair done,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Take pride in your appearance when you leave the house, even if you're going to the gas station or Walmart.
Right.
Um, keep your nails done, right? If you have the money to get them professionally done, that's what's up. But if you don't, it's you can do it at home.
Right.
Like I didn't always do that. I'm speaking now from experience. I did not always do that, and I do it now, and it's the right thing to do as a woman. And you feel better, right? Because you look good.
Right.
Um, so take care of yourself. What else? Wear clothes that flatter your body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, even when you're at home wearing house clothes, again, you want to maintain that desire from your significant other. So
Right.
I would really stare, like, I love to wear a nice baggy t-shirt and some sweats, but I realize you really can't be doing that. Like, that's what men wear.
Right.
So men don't want to look at their female and see a man. So
Mm.
I would just say keep it cute.
Okay.
Um, and then this is a major one for me, but stay in shape.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. They tell you when you're young that you're not always gonna have that body, and I don't know that we really like listen when you're in your early 20s and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that metabolism slowing down is serious, okay?
Yeah, it
And so
is.
staying active, working out to maintain your physique and eating right, that's of the utmost importance,
Mm-hmm.
especially as women, just because again, men are visual creatures. They obviously want their significant other to be attractive and desirable.
Right.
That said, let me just say, I do feel like we as women have an unfair expectation to
Yeah.
not change physically or not gain weight, whereas I think we give men a little bit more grace.
Right.
So that's a little bit annoying, but it is what it is.
No, I totally agree with what you're saying. I think for women, um, I think because we mature faster than men. So when it
Mm-mm.
comes to like the physical and like keeping your hair done and nails done and dressing good, I think by the time we're like in our probably late 20s, 30s, we have other priorities like taking care of home, paying bills. So that kind of gets pushed back to like, the back burner. Not that we don't care about it, but it's like other priorities kind of take precedence. So I think we should get grace for that too, because the women are usually the ones holding down the household, paying the bills, for the house, making sure everything is done and paid on time. So we should get a little grace because of that.
I completely agree.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. All right,
Okay.
what you got?
All right. So I wrote long distance relationships don't work.
Oh
Okay.
shit.
From my experience, that's what I'm saying. So I've had experience with two long distance relationships. So, um, Courtney was my first boyfriend, and actually, Ram's sister hooked me up with Courtney. But he lived all the way in Atlantic City. So Atlantic City from where I lived at the time was like 3 hours away. I know people probably like, well, that's not really long distance, but when you're like 17, 18 years old, yes, the fuck it is, okay?
Yeah, that's who the fuck is driving you there.
Right,
And they
exactly.
know fucking public transportation down that way like that.
Right. Um, I said it was hard to try and keep the relationship going because of the distance. And that was like back when not everybody had a cell phone. So there would be times that we would be playing phone tag with one another. And it just got hard. So, like, now looking back at it, when like you're 17, 18, trying to make a long distance relationship work, it's really not possible. You just don't have the means as a kid to do so. And then my second I don't know if I want to call it a relationship, but I'll just say my second experience with a long distance relationship was Wheezy. So Wheezy lived down south, but he would come to Jersey to visit family every now and then. And I remember one time he came to Jersey and he didn't hit me up, and I was so heated because it's not like he was coming to Jersey on the regular, so I felt played
Mm.
when he was in town and he didn't come and check me. Also, he was supposed to take me to my senior prom, and at the last minute, he told me he wasn't going to be able to do so. You know, guys, who I went to my senior prom with, though?
Aw.
I went to my senior prom with Ram. Yes, yes. And you know what? Now that I think back about it, I don't even think Wheezy told me. I think his cousin actually was the one who told me that he wasn't even going to be able to come and take me to my senior prom. So again, the long distance thing for me when I was younger, it just didn't work at all.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, I was like devastated. I was like, what the fuck do you mean you're not going to be able to come and take me to prom?
That's fucking crazy.
It is.
Mm, 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 mm. we're not going to talk about why. Well, you just talked about why we went to the prom together.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right, that was a good one now. Wait, so but hold up. So are you only talking about not being in a long distance relationship as a teenager? Because I feel like that makes sense. How do you feel about long distance relationships now as someone who is established and older?
I feel like that a long distance relationship could work, but I just feel like after a while, it's just gonna get old. You know what I mean? Like you're
Mm-hmm.
going to have each person is going to have to dedicate time because you don't want to have one person constantly visiting the other. Like both parties are going to have to go back and forth visiting one another. So that
Yep.
takes time, that takes money, that could be talking about taking off of work, which
Mm-hmm.
it could work, but again, like how long are we going to do this? And then that starts digging into your pockets as far as money. It could work, and I feel like the person would really have to be extra, extra, extra special in order for me to do that. But I would say I would probably be on the fence about it.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think for me, I just would have number one, you're right. The person would have to be extra extra special, but also I feel like I would go into it with no expectations
Mm.
because I feel like at this point in my life, I've been hurt enough where I'm just gonna go with the flow. We'll see what happens.
Right.
Right,
Okay.
that was a good one. So my next one is know your worth.
Mm.
That means not allowing people to mistreat you.
Mm-hmm.
That means not having sex so early after meeting someone.
Mm.
Women, we literally have a pot of gold, and I feel like it's important to understand, especially teenage girls,
Mm-hmm.
how valuable and precious that gold is. And
Yes.
you just don't give away valuable things.
No.
Things of value, they have to be earned.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's important, especially for the teenagers.
Right.
Um, Knowing your worth means leaving the relationship if someone cheats on you. The
Mm.
first time,
Right.
let me say it again, leaving the relationship after someone cheats on you the first time.
Mm.
We be so mad at these men for cheating on us, but
Mm-hmm.
we take them back every
Right.
time. And
Yeah.
so why would they not do it?
Right.
We're telling them that it is okay to cheat on us. I'm not saying that we're to blame. I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying people are going to do what you allow them to do.
Right.
And you're telling them that it is okay to cheat on you and disrespect you and lie to you when you take them back.
Mm.
Like when you cheat on somebody, you had to make mad bad decisions.
Mm.
Like it didn't go from 0 to 100. There were mad steps that you could have stopped yourself
Yeah.
before you did it.
Right.
So leave after the first time. Like we got to stop doing that. And that's for females and males. Like I don't care who it is. Stop fucking. You can forgive them, but don't go back. That's it. There's too many
Mm.
people on this fucking planet for us to feel like we have to go back to somebody. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, and believe me, it took experience for me to learn that. Let me be very clear. I'm not judging nobody. I'm trying to save you. If you haven't done it yet, don't do it.
Right.
But my last point for know your worth, um, and this is specifically if you're a woman, for a man to court you,
Mm.
a woman is something of value and worth being courted. You're
Mm-hmm.
worth being wined and dined. You're worth being romanced. That's the natural order of a male female relationship.
Right.
And I don't know, I think we're just so used to taking the bare minimum.
Mm.
Like, I've never had a great Valentine's Day.
Mm.
Now, I don't necessarily care about Valentine's Day, but is that because I've been conditioned to think that from my past relationships,
Right.
right? If my past relationships, they were going all out for Valentine's Day, I probably wouldn't feel like that. I don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, like, it would be nice.
Right.
And it's okay to want that. Like, it's okay to want that.
Right.
So, know your worth.
Yeah, I like that one. And I agree with you as far as saying, not you're not judging anyone, you're just talking from experience as far as, taking someone back after they cheated. And I will definitely agree with you and say once they cheat, the relationship is basically over and it's time to leave. And that's it,
Hmm.
really. That's the hard truth. It's a hard pill to swallow, but that is the truth.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. What you got?
Okay, so something similar to what you just talked about. I put always putting feelings out and not receiving anything back in return. So,
Mm,
so if you are the one who is always expressing your feelings and not getting much back in return, take a step back because the motherfucker might need to miss you for a few days, a few weeks. So I'll say Wheezy and Bodman both had this thing where they didn't really express their feelings to me like how I was to them. Now that I think about it, both are water signs, which is really weird because water signs are all about emotions and love. So it's so
mm.
strange. But anyway, I remember when I would like email Wheezy. This is like back in the early 2000s. So I remember I would like email Wheezy, like pouring out my heart, like pouring out my heart to him. And he would write back like a little old one or two sentences.
No,
And I'm like, give me something. My God, come on. Yeah. Hmm.
that's crazy.
It is. It is. I think it's a combination of me because guys, okay, because I'm a Gemini, like we're the rulers of communication. So
Mm,
for me, it's not a thing to like communicate how I feel. And so I guess I had to realize like not everybody is like that, especially men. It's harder for men to put their emotions in like into words and that sort of thing. But I think if you need like that, I don't want to say validation, just somebody expressing how they feel,
hmm.
they should be able to tell you. It shouldn't be like pulling teeth.
Right, absolutely. And especially, let's say if there's conflict involved, like, I'm not a fucking mind reader,
Right.
and we're not going to resolve anything unless you communicate
Mm-hmm.
what you feel and why you're feeling that way. But
Yeah.
I think it is definitely harder for men to express themselves. I don't know that it comes natural for them.
Mm. Yeah.
But that was a good one. Yeah. Somebody should be, if a man is interested, they're going to reciprocate. They're going to show you. They're going to be intentional about showing you intention and wanting to be around you and all that good stuff. So that was
Yeah.
good.
Thank you.
All right. My fourth one is I would tell myself to maintain separate places until you get married or you decide that this is the person that you're going to be with for the rest of your life.
Mm. That's a good one.
I think people can have great relationships and live separately.
Mm-hmm.
You can sleep at each other's houses, but I don't know that unless you guys are fully committed
Mm-hmm.
that you need to. No, let me not say that you need to. I would tell myself not to move in with someone until you're married to that person.
Okay.
I think each person needs to be able to support themselves
Hmm.
and manage their own finances so
Yes.
that you are not financially dependent on one another.
Hmm. Yeah.
This one is specifically for women. If you do live with your significant other who is not your husband and you're paying the majority of the bills and you're working and you're cooking and you're cleaning, and if you have children, you're doing most of the caregiving, maybe it's time to go.
Hmm.
It's time to go. It does not make sense as a woman be living as a man who, by natural order, is the provider of the relationship, and you're paying the majority of the bills and and doing most of the household chores, activities, whatever the case it may be.
Right.
If you paying the majority of the bills, baby, he got to be doing everything else, or
Right.
vice versa.
Right.
If the man is paying all, let's say he's paying all of the bills,
Mm-hmm.
take care of the house. But if you as a woman are doing the majority of the things for the house and you are paying the majority of the bills, that's a problem. You gotta go.
Right.
You gotta go. And so that leads me to my next point. If for some reason you do choose to move in with your boyfriend or girlfriend, you better have money in your personal savings account so
Hmm.
that you can leave when you want to or need to. Too many people be staying in relationships they have no business being in because they can't afford to move out.
Right. Yes.
Then that's how you create that toxic environment because you're living with somebody that you don't even like,
Right.
or even trust for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have your own savings. So, number one, I don't recommend moving in with this person, but if you do, you better have a savings account with money in it.
Right.
And then the last point is, if you're a single couple, neither of you have kids, and especially specifically if you're young, like I'm talking about early 20s,
Mm-hmm.
when you move in with somebody who's not your husband in your early 20s, like the chances of you having an unplanned pregnancy is definitely going to increase.
Mm.
If that's what you want to do, okay. But the likelihood of you conceiving a child is definitely going to increase. Children cost money.
Mm.
Children require time. Children require energy. The demands of having children can cause a strain on couples who aren't solid for
Mm-hmm.
the reasons I just listed. So, it's no longer you and your boyfriend or you and your girlfriend having fun. Now it's you guys have a responsibility
Right.
for life. And
Mm.
so, as a young person dating, enjoy your life. Be free while you
Right.
can.
Yes.
Okay? Because adulthood, that shit's gonna be there.
Right. Oh, I agree, especially about it's all about balance, right? You can't, no one should ever be in a relationship where one person is doing 80% and somebody is doing 20, or one person is doing 40% and somebody's doing 60. There should be some sort of balance between, the roles, the relationship, how things work in your household, because the person that's doing more of the work eventually is going to get tired and feel like they're being taken advantage of, taken for granted. You
Yeah,
you never just want to get to that place and feeling like you're kind of being used. So that's
exactly.
yeah, that's definitely something that people should keep in mind as far as, if we do move in together, how are we going to be splitting bills? How are we going to be, doing chores, even taking care of cars and stuff like that. How are we going to figure all of that stuff out? Because again, putting too much work on one person is just going to end up in that person feeling like they're getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah, I think what you brought up is an excellent point. If you are gonna do it, you have to talk out those details. And it may sound stupid, but like, no, who the fuck is cleaning the bathroom every Saturday? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
what bills are you paying?
Right.
Like all that shit does have to be talked about because what's gonna happen is some a situation's gonna come up
Right.
and you didn't previously have a conversation about it. And if your relationship is not solid and your communication skills aren't great, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have conflict.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would avoid it, me personally, but that's me personally, off of
Mm.
my experience.
Right. Yeah. Good point. Sorry.
Okay, what's next?
Okay, so my next one is kind of similar to what you were talking about. I have that there should be clear definitions of what the relationship is. So I said make sure whatever type of relationship you get in, whether it be, friends with benefits, boyfriend, whatever, booty call, whatever the relationship is, just make sure both people are on the same page as what this relationship actually is. So there's no confusion.
I completely agree. Like, we don't want no misunderstandings. A lot of people's feelings like, you can avoid people's feelings from getting hurt if
Right.
everyone is just clear about what their intentions are
Right. Exactly. Let's
and
talk about it.
expectations. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Excellent. Um, my last one is don't make excuses.
Mm,
Do not make excuses for your boyfriend or girlfriend when you see bad behavior.
mm,
Those are red flags when they're not to be ignored.
mm-hmm.
I've given too many guys the benefit of the doubt when they didn't deserve it.
Mm,
I've accepted too many lies knowing that the fucking stories that they were telling made absolutely no sense.
right.
I've given too many chances to men who didn't deserve or earn another chance with the
Mm,
hopes that one day, just one day, he'll be who he used to be.
mm,
But I think what happens is he or she likely were never that person.
mm,
When you see a pattern of toxic behavior, you start believing people, or you should start believing people for who they are and who they've shown themselves to be, and stop making excuses for the behavior.
right.
That's why they keep doing it, because you've told them through your inaction that it's okay to continue that bad behavior. And I understand love is blind. Like that shit, that saying,
Mm-hmm.
it's so true, it's scary.
It is.
Love is blind. You don't see shit until you get out of it.
Mm,
Um, but I don't know. I don't make excuses. Don't ignore the red flags. And when you see the red flags, make your exit.
yeah, I completely agree. Um, and I would say, like, I always say this now that I'm a bit older, but whatever your first thought is, whatever your gut is telling you, whatever your intuition is saying, follow it. Don't ignore it, because 100%, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be right, because it's like your own body is trying to tell you, like, no, this is not right. Something's wrong. Something's off. So don't ignore your intuition or what your gut is trying to tell you.
Right. Because people will try to make you feel like you're crazy or
Yeah,
you're overreacting to
right,
their behavior when really, no, 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 no. What
right.
you're feeling, what your body is telling you is this shit ain't right.
Hmm.
And it's okay. Again, as we said, there's too many people on this planet for us to be worried about somebody whose our intuition is telling us they not for us.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your last one?
So my last one is stop being obsessed off the bat. Play it cool. Okay. So when I reflect on when I was like younger and I liked someone, I just had this thing where I just like to be around them and spend time with them. And you can ask Ram. I'm like fucking antisocial as shit. So if I'm feeling you, if I like you, like it's different. Like it's different. Um, and I think either episode 1 or 2, I talked about Al B. Shore. He was my brother's friend. And when I was in
Yes.
seventh grade, I would like stalk him in the hallways. Um, yeah, that's kind of going back to me like saying like stop being obsessive and stuff like that. With Wheezy, I had this journal around the time that I knew him, and damn near every entry was about Wheezy. I'm talking about every entry. Wheezy, Wheezy, Wheezy. I mean, most of the entries was about me either complaining about how he didn't call me back or about how much I really liked him.
Aw, liked
Yeah,
him too, though. I mean,
yeah.
but I'm glad that you see that it was more one sided
Oh my
and
God. It was so much. I mean, I don't want to
it
say
was
it
all
like
the way
that.
right. It wasn't always one sided. It really wasn't. So let's be clear. But I think you felt for him more than he did.
I did. I really did. And even to this day, I still be thinking like, what was it? Like, why couldn't again, we were young, so I understand, and he lived down south. So I understand realistically it wasn't gonna happen. But I just felt like I'm a special bitch. Like, you're not gonna run across somebody like me ever again. So I just felt like I always wanted to know why we couldn't make it work. Like, why?
I think it was just that he
Mm,
was down south because number one, he was a little bit older than us.
mm,
So, and I feel like he was a mature guy. Like, you know how women mature faster
mm-hmm.
than men, but I feel like he was already mature and he was older. And the fact that he lived so far away, I don't know. I guess for him, I'm making this up in my head. He just knew it was never going to be something serious. But I think part of your obsession, because I understand it to a certain way, it was like we had a good time.
Yeah,
That time, that era
yeah,
was so fucking good. It was so fun.
right.
So it's just wanting that feeling, that same feeling
Yeah.
from that time.
But he was only like 1 year older than us, like 1 or 2 years older than us. I don't think he was beyond 2 years. It was like one
Oh,
year
really?
older. Yeah.
I always felt like he was like 4 or 5.
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Yeah. Um, Lizzie, you missed out on a good one.
He did. Because look where I am now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. But you know what's
It could have
funny?
worked. It could have worked.
It could have, right? But
It could have worked.
you know what's funny when you were over my house, not this past New Year's, but the one before that. And remember I was like, I'm gonna hit him up on Facebook and see how he's
Yes.
doing. And I hit him
Yeah.
up, and it was kind of still more of the same. Like he didn't really give me much, you know what I mean? So it's like from that point on, I was just like, I'm gonna leave it
It's over.
alone. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone. Like it can't be all these years later and you still not doing
And any fucking effort in.
much.
Like,
Yeah. So yeah,
ugh,
right.
one day. Or maybe not one day. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think the final thought and reflection is really just understanding that in relationships, you got to take some accountability for what you allow and what you tolerate and what you stay in.
Hmm.
Again, people can only do what you allow. And so it's important to know yourself, know your worth, and value yourself. And so those are the things that we wish we knew
Right.
when we were dating in our teenage and early 20s. I think having this knowledge would have just saved us from a lot of heartache.
Right.
But we know what some of the things that you wish you knew when you were dating as a teenager or a young adult. Let us know in the comments. And until next time, peace.
Peace, guys.